Hello, Algebra, and welcome to Lesson 7.5 on factoring x squared plus bx plus c. This is a big day in your mathematical career. This is like the first day you add, the first day you count to 100, the first day you work with fractions, the first day you do multiplication facts. It's a big deal. First day you graph a line, all that fun stuff, right? So this is going to be our trinomial for the day. Now, typically, your trinomials have an a in front of x squared, so ax squared plus bx plus c. But in this lesson, our a value is going to be equal to 1. So with a equal to 1. And what you're going to say in your head is no a, and again, it's not typically not technically no a, but there's no a written, yay. Right? Because when there's no a, these problems are very much more doable. Okay? All right, so that's lesson 7.5. So let's take a look here at what we got to deal with. All right, so question, example 1 says, how does factoring a trinomial relate to multiplying binomials, right? So this trinomial, 3 terms, relate to multiplying 2 binomials, two terms, right? So here is what we're going to consider. X plus 2 times x plus 3 and how it relates to x squared plus 5x plus 6. So right here, we're just going to multiply out x plus 2 times x plus 3. And again, you could use the table if you want to. I'm just going to do the side-to-side method, right? Just distribute. So x goes to the second x and the 3. So we're going to get, I'll do it to the right here, we're going to get x squared plus 3x. And then the positive 2 to the x and the 3 plus 2x, and then 2 times 3, that's a positive 6. And typically we can combine the middle terms and we'll get x squared plus 5x plus 6. And notice that the trinomial we got from multiplying these 2 binomials is the same as this trinomial over here. And the question is, why does that happen? Well, if we look, the important things here are the positive 2 and the positive 3. These numbers are going to be what we call factors of 6. Factors of 6 that add to 5. So if you look here, right, what is 2 times 3? Well, 2 times 3 is 6. That's how you get the last 6. Okay, and then what is 2 plus 3? Well, 2 plus 3 is 5. That's how you get the 5 in the middle. This is what we're going to be doing, but we're going to be doing it backwards. We're going to be given the trinomial and have to come up with these 2 factors. Okay, and that's our idea today. And the next, the rest of the chapter as it is, the rest of the topic. So again, when factoring a trinomial, you're going to work backwards to find those 2 binomials. So here, when you have a trinomial of this form, x squared plus bx plus c, you're looking for the 2 factors x plus p, x plus q, where p times q equals c. Again, that means that p and q are factors of c. Factors of c. And p plus q is b. That means they have a sum of b. Okay, very important stuff right here. Now, the other thing I want to show you is this visual. So you'll see me do this in all of our factoring problems. We're going to create what's called an x. Right? Some people call this the x method. It's a lot, to me, more usable when you have an a value other than 1. But for us here, and what we're going to do is you're going to put the c in the top spot and the b in the bottom spot. And again, the left and right are your p and q. And again, what we're looking for is we're looking for the factors of c that have a sum equal to b. Right? And you'll see me, I'm going to make this table. We're going to list out the factors. Once you find that special p times q that equals c, and that p plus q that equals b. Once you find those magic p and q values, they're going to go in your parentheses. X plus p, x plus q. And it doesn't matter the order, but this is what our answer is going to be. What's in this purple cloud. Okay, so let's get right to it and see what we can do today. All right, okay. So let me drag this back down here. Clear that. Okay, next question. All right, so it says, what is the factored form of x squared plus 5x plus 6? Now, again, we just did this, right? So this is a trinomial of the form x squared plus bx plus c. Again, your a is non-existent. Now, in the future lessons, we'll talk about a GCF, but because your a value is a 1, typically there's not going to be a GCF with these problems, okay? So typically no GCF. And I shouldn't say no GCF, right? Your GCF is equal to 1, which if you divide out 1, it doesn't change anything, all right? So technically I'm not going to be looking for GCFs in this lesson. Okay, so what we're going to do here is I'm going to create my, I'm going to do a couple things, right? Let me create my x. Okay, now again, you can do this problem without the x. It just gives you a visual representation, right? So your c value is a positive 6. Your b value is a positive 5. We're looking for our p and q that make this happen. So over here in my table, I want factors of positive 6 that have a sum equal to positive 5, right? And here's how you do this, right? If you don't know, right, the numbers are pretty small, but if you don't know, you just use division, right? So in your calculator, what's 6 divided by 1? Well, 6 divided by 1 is 6, which means that 1 and 6 are factors. 1 times 6 is going to give you 6, right? But what is 1 plus 6? 1 plus 6 is 7. That's not going to give you 5. Now, one thing to talk about are the signs of these numbers, because these numbers could be positive or negative. Well, in order to get a positive 6, these two numbers have to have the same sign, because when you multiply two numbers, you have to use the same sign. So because this is a positive 6, we need the same signs. And if I want a positive 5, they both have to be positive. So we're going to stick with a positive 1 and a positive 6. But again, still, it doesn't work, right? So this is not correct. Okay, now you do 6 divided by 2. Well, that's 3, right? So 2 and 3 are the next set of factors. 2 times 3. 2 times 3 is 6, right? 2 plus 3 is 5. And again, we're going to stick with positive and positive. So 2 and 3. Positive 2, positive 3 are our P and Q. We found our numbers. So we're going to do in one parenthesis x plus 2, and then the other parenthesis x plus 3. And that's our answer. Now, the order doesn't matter. You could also do x plus 3 and x plus 2. Either way works. Now, I do want to show you graphically using algebra tiles what we're talking about here. So this is going to be an algebra tile method, right? So you could try to take this x squared plus 5x plus 6 and make algebra tile a representation. So typically, I start with the x squared. So we have one of those. And then over here, I'm going to put an array so that I have 6 little squares. And I'm going to do it like this, I think, right? So I'm going to have 2 columns by 3 rows, right? So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 little things. And now you just have to fill in your rectangles, right? So here's one rectangle, that's an x. Here's 2 rectangles, that's another x. Here's 3 rectangles, that's another x. So this dimension is x. These dimensions are 1, 1, and 1. This has a height or a width or whatever you want to call it of x plus 3. Over here, fill in your 2 rectangles. There's an x. There's an x. So this has a length of x. This is a 1 and a 1. And again, that is x plus 2. And those are also your 2 factors, x plus 3, x plus 2. All right, so that's the algebra tile representation for these problems. Okay. Now, the last thing you do is you could check. And I'll do that in purple here. So see this check? I'm going to bring it over here. Okay. So if you want to check, just simply take your 2 binomials and multiply them. X to x, x to 3. That's x squared plus 3x. 2 to x, 2 to 3. That's 2x, and 3 times 2. 3 times 2 is 6. Combine your middle terms. That's x squared plus 5x plus 6. And you know you're right. You know this is your answer because you got the trinomial back out. This is not your answer, right? The trinomial. The answer are the 2 binomials. Great. Now, the one thing I did not do, I got ahead of myself, right? If you want to finish the x over here, right, you should put a plus 2 here and a plus 3 there. So you know that those go in your parentheses right here and right here. Okay, great. Next. Okay, again, practice makes perfect. Here we go. What is the factor form of x squared minus 11x plus 18? So now, this is still x squared plus bx plus c, but now notice your b value is a negative. You have a negative b, right? So how is that going to affect things? Well, let's create our x. C goes on top, positive 18. B goes on bottom, negative 11. Again, I still want the factors of positive 18 that have a sum equal to negative 11. Okay, so again, divide by 1, that's 1 and 18. Now, 1 times 18 is 18. Now, 1 plus 18 is 19. But I want the number to be negative. So in this case, still a positive 18, still same signs, but now both numbers have to be negative. So now you're combining a negative 1 and a negative 18 to make a negative 19. Still wrong. Okay, 18 divided by 2 is 9. 2 times 9 is 18. Again, has to be negative and negative because of this negative 11 over here. Right, same signs, have to be negative. And now we'll do negative 2 plus negative 9. Negative 2 plus negative 9 is negative 11. Cha-ching! I got it. So now, I know that these are my two numbers. So I'll do it in blue. In my x, I'll put negative 2 and negative 9. So now I know my answer is x minus 2 times x minus 9. Or it could be x minus 9 times x minus 2. Either answer is correct. Okay, let's do one more on this video and then we'll be done. All right. Okay, again, here we go. X squared plus bx plus c. But now notice here, now we have a negative c. So how's that going to change things? Well, I still create my x here. Put that negative 6 on the top. That's your c. Put positive 5 on the bottom. Looking for my p and q, right? We want the factors of negative 6 that have a sum equal to positive 5. So again, the factors of 6 are 1 and 6, right? But now notice, you have to get a negative 6. In order to get a negative, one of these must be positive and one must be negative. So it could be negative 1 and positive 6, or it could be positive 1 and negative 6, right? Well, the way you determine that is you look over here. If you want the overall sum to be positive, you would need the bigger number to be positive. So in this group, you would not do the bottom one because the 6 is bigger and it's negative. You do the top one to see if this works. And negative 1 plus positive 6, negative 1 and positive 6 is positive 5. It works. These are our numbers, right? So we're going to put a minus 1 here and a plus 6 here. If you were not to be, aware, and you tried this way, and you got plus 1 plus negative 6, and you got a negative 5, right? And you see that it's opposite of that sign. Don't throw this away. Just change these signs, right? Make the 1 become negative and the 6 become positive, right? So you have it, you just don't have the signs correct. But the signs are very important in terms of what number it goes with. Okay, so we know our answer is x minus 1 times x plus 6. Now, you can also switch the numbers, right? But notice when I switch the numbers, like when I bring the 6 forward, the plus sign comes with it. Don't leave the negative in the first parenthesis. And then when the 1 goes second, it goes with the negative. So either this or either that. All right, great. Thanks for watching this first video. Video 2 is coming up right next.